Friends, this time Parker Schnabel has created a sensation in the world of the gold rush, something no one had imagined. Beneath the cold and dangerous ground of the Yukon, a secret shaft was discovered that no one had dared to touch for years. It's said that this place was so dangerous that even the old miners were afraid to set foot there. But Parker risked everything and began digging, and what he found shocked the entire team. The news is that Parker has discovered a gold treasure worth up to $65 million. Imagine, such a huge amount could change someone's life forever. But the question is, how did this gold remain hidden there for so many years? Was it just a treasure accidentally left behind? Or is there some ancient secret hidden from the world until now? When Parker and his team began digging, they discovered not only gold, but also some strange markings. Markings that suggest this place may have once been part of a major secret operation. The government is now watching this discovery, and Parker must decide whether to reveal the truth to the world or keep it a secret. So get ready, because this story isn't just about a pile of gold, but about a secret that could change the history of the gold rush forever. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss the next update on Parker's astonishing discovery. The Yukon's dangerous region. Yukon, a place where snow and cold winds constantly guard. The ground here freezes, becoming as hard as rock for most of the year. Strong winds and sudden blizzards make this region even more dangerous. In winter, temperatures drop so low that even human breath freezes. This is why this region has always been considered one of the most difficult and challenging for miners. Living here is difficult, and mining is even more risky. Horror stories have circulated about the Yukon since ancient times. Legends say that many miners came here in search of gold, but never returned. Some say they were victims of a major accident, while others believe they were held there by an unknown force. Years ago, some camps were discovered where all the miners' belongings were lying intact, but the miners themselves were nowhere to be found. These incidents still fill this place with mystery and fear. For this reason, parts of the Yukon are considered off-limits. Both the government and former miners agree that this area is unsafe for humans. There's a constant threat of sudden landfalls, dangerous gas releases, and blizzards. Strange noises have also been reported in the dark, making workers even more nervous. Years ago, some old maps mentioned a mysterious shaft deep in the Yukon. Legend has it that this shaft was built by ancient miners and contained something hidden within it that no one has ever found. These maps are so old and torn that it's difficult to distinguish between truth and rumor. Parker and his team found a clue to this shaft, which compelled them to descend into this dangerous area. This began the biggest discovery of their lives. Parker's big trouble. This season didn't start off smoothly for Parker Schnabel. When he returned to the Yukon, he thought he would have things under control. But financial constraints hit him from the start. The budget required for the new season's excavation was substantial, and Parker simply didn't have that much. His financial situation had already been weakened by some mistakes and heavy expenses from the previous season. This forced Parker to take a greater risk this time. Parker knew that if he didn't extract more gold quickly this time, his entire operation would be in jeopardy. Mining in an area like the Yukon isn't easy, and daily expenses run into millions of dollars. Payments to his team, maintenance of the machinery, and fuel costs were all mounting. If gold wasn't found on time, Parker's excavation could be shut down before the season ended. This thought only added to the pressure on Parker. Not only the team, but also major investors were eyeing Parker. Those who had invested in Parker wanted this season to bring in more profits than any previous season. They were constantly asking Parker for updates and hoping he would soon deliver some big news. Parker's team members also repeatedly reminded him that if gold wasn't found this time, everything would be lost. This pressure was nothing short of a nightmare for Parker. Amidst these circumstances, Parker learned about the mysterious shaft in the Yukon through old maps and stories. He knew that going into this shaft would be extremely dangerous, but he had no other choice. Parker decided to take this last chance, no matter how much it risked the lives of his team. This was the moment when Parker took the biggest and riskiest step of his life, which would later lead him to $65 million in gold. Discovering the secret shaft, Parker's fortunes suddenly took a turn when he received an old map from an elderly, retired miner in the Yukon. The map was decades old, rusted and dusty at its corners. It was said to be of a shaft that had been created by some miners many years ago, but had been sealed for some mysterious reason. The old miner warned Parker that the place was extremely dangerous and that many miners had disappeared there. But Parker had only one thought in mind. If the map turned out to be accurate, it could change the fate of his season. Parker and his team planned to search the site secretly at night. Working there during the day would have exposed them to the government and other miners, so they chose darkness. The cold night, the icy winds, and the team's breathing became more and more rapid. Under the dim light of cameras and the glow of headlamps, they continued to carefully review the map. Their hearts pounded with each step, unsure of what they might find. Camera footage captured every moment of this search operation. Their shadows seemed eerie in the darkness of the night, the creaking of their boots on the snow shattering the silence. Whenever a strange sound was heard, the team members would stop and look around. Watching the footage feels like a scene from a horror movie. Parker's face was grim, and his eyes reflected only one thing: an unwavering determination to reach the treasure. Finally, Parker's team found the spot where the X mark had been drawn on the map. Hidden beneath the snow and mud was an old iron door. The door was rusted, and strange symbols were engraved around it. Together, the entire team removed the snow and mud from above the door. Parker took a deep breath and slowly opened the heavy door. As the door creaked open, a cold, stagnant breeze gushed out, as if a secret trapped for centuries was being released. At that moment, the team's eyes reflected both fear and excitement. It was at that moment that Parker and his team opened the door to a mysterious path that would change their lives forever. First day of excavation. Fear and mystery. As the heavy door to the sealed shaft opened, a cold, damp breeze gusted through the entire team. Parker and his team paused for a moment, their hearts racing. The darkness ahead was so intense that even the light from their headlamps barely reached a few feet. Parker took a deep breath and signaled the team to proceed inside. Everyone's steps became heavy, but the urge to reach the treasure was driving them forward. As the team advanced inside, they began to hear strange noises. Sometimes it seemed as if water was dripping somewhere in the distance, and sometimes there was the sudden sound of metal clashing. A strange smell permeated the air, a mixture of rust, mud, and the scent of an ancient mystery. The odor was so strong that some of the team members covered their faces with cloth. Fear was clearly visible on Parker's face, but he tried to appear strong. Inside, they found rusty tools and broken machinery littering the walls. Some were so old that it was difficult to guess when they had last been used. Strange markings were etched on the walls, as if someone had left a secret message many years ago. Among these markings were symbols that none of the team members could decipher. Parker observed them carefully and said softly, "This place isn't just a place to sleep. There's something more hidden here, something we may not yet understand. As the team delved deeper, the silence grew more terrifying. With every step, they felt as if someone was watching them. Only the sound of their breathing and the creaking of their boots echoed in the darkness. Parker instructed the team to proceed cautiously and walked ahead. At that moment, the team's fear and curiosity were at their peak. The first glimpse of gold. After several hours of digging, suddenly a team member shouted for Parker. Parker and the rest of the team immediately ran in that direction. A faint golden glow emanated from the soil. At first, everyone thought it was just a shiny stone. But when Parker picked it up, everyone's eyes widened in astonishment. The glow wasn't from a stone, but from gold. The team's breath took hold. This was the first time they had found real gold in this mysterious shaft. A faint smile appeared on Parker's face, but worry was clearly visible in his eyes. The team shouted with joy, embracing each other. This moment was the first great reward for their hard work. But Parker knew it was just the beginning. He calmed the team, telling them that this was just a small part. The real treasure awaited them deeper down. Slowly, the team began to find smaller pieces of gold. Each piece seemed to raise their hopes. But a question kept echoing in Parker's mind. If there was so much gold above, what would be below? He said in a serious voice, "If this much gold is just the beginning, then how much more would be below?" This line silenced the entire team for a moment. Everyone looked at each other as if their souls were shaken. Because there could be many times more gold below than there was above. But the danger was also increasing. Parker and his team knew that they had to go deeper, where the real secret might be hidden. At that moment, they decided that no matter what difficulties they faced, they would uncover the true truth about this mysterious shaft, even if it cost them their lives. Dangerous events begin as Parker and his team began digging deeper into the shaft. The atmosphere grew increasingly terrifying. Initially, everything seemed fine, but within a few hours, strange events began to occur. First, a heavy machine that had been working continuously suddenly stopped for no apparent reason. The team tried to restart it, but it wouldn't work at all. The mechanic said there was no mechanical problem with the machine, and everything seemed fine. Hearing this, a strange fear gripped everyone. Parker tried to ignore it as a normal occurrence, but questions began to arise in his mind. Then, during the excavation, a team member suddenly slipped and fell down the stairs. His scream echoed throughout the shaft. The other members immediately rushed to his aid and pulled him out. His leg was badly injured, and he needed immediate medical attention. The accident happened so suddenly that everyone was shocked. Some whispered that perhaps this place was unsafe, that some invisible force was at work here. As the excavation continued, more strange events began to occur. Sometimes a machine would suddenly stop, sometimes someone's name would be called out in the dark, and sometimes the power would go out for no apparent reason. Several members of the team became frightened and told Parker that perhaps the place was cursed. Parker initially dismissed these rumors, but as the incidents continued, he began to realize that this wasn't just a treasure hunt. Something beyond their understanding was going on here. Parker told his team to stay strong, but deep down, he was uneasy. One night, Parker looked at the camera footage and noticed something strange. A shadow appeared to be moving near the machine, even though no one was present at the time. Parker didn't show this footage to the team so as not to demoralize them, but now he was convinced that this place was not normal. He whispered to himself, "This place is cursed, and maybe we shouldn't have come here." Government eyes. As Parker's team's excavation progressed and news spread that they had discovered large pieces of gold, government agencies suddenly became active. One morning, Parker noticed drones hovering over the shaft. Initially, he thought they might be drones belonging to the media or other miners, but when he looked closer, he realized there were no official markings on the drones. Only then did Parker realize this was no ordinary surveillance. Within a few days, some government officials arrived. They asked Parker a series of questions: what was being excavated, who was involved, and what had been found so far. Parker tried to provide general information, but with each question, the officials inquired more deeply. Parker sensed that they weren't just interested in the treasure, but were there to investigate a larger mystery. Gradually, the team noticed that hidden cameras were being installed nearby. Even at night, red lights flashed in the darkness. It seemed as if someone was watching them all the time. Parker's team became uneasy and confronted him about the situation, but Parker himself was perplexed. He couldn't understand why the government was so interested. The strangest thing was that the officials never gave a clear answer. Whenever Parker asked why they were doing all this, they would simply say, "It's all for security." But their faces and attitude clearly indicated that they were hiding something. Seeing all this, Parker realized that this wasn't just a search for gold. There was something here that the government didn't want revealed to the world. This thought only increased his unease. The suspense deepened for the audience. Was the government simply protecting the treasure? Or was there a secret hidden in this shaft that they wanted to hide at all costs? This became the biggest question for Parker and his team. And the answer to this question could prove more dangerous than the treasure itself. A real treasure of gold. After days of hard work and countless difficulties, Parker and his team finally reached the deepest part of the shaft. As they descended, the soil and rocks changed color. Parker's heart pounded, his hopes growing with each step. Suddenly, something shiny appeared in the light of one of the team members' flashlight. Everyone's attention was drawn to the spot, and when they got closer, their eyes widened in astonishment. It wasn't a small piece of gold, but a large, heavy, solid piece of gold. Parker immediately picked it up and held it in his hands. The gold's brilliance was so intense that it illuminated the dark shaft. The team screamed with joy. Parker's face also glowed with joy, but worry was clearly visible in his eyes. He hushed the team and urged them to continue digging. As the digging progressed, the team began to find even larger pieces of gold, each larger and heavier than the last. Some pieces were so huge that machines were needed to extract them. When they collected all the gold and calculated its weight and estimated value, everyone was stunned. The value of the gold was estimated at $65 million, equivalent to approximately 540 crore rupees. The team erupted in joy. Some embraced each other, others were in tears. It was the greatest moment of their lives. But amidst this joy, there was also a deep fear. Such a huge discovery meant that their difficulties were about to increase. Parker looked at the team and said in a serious voice, "This isn't just gold. It will change our lives." This line silenced everyone, as they understood that this discovery now meant not just wealth for them, but also a sign of danger. Old secret history revealed. Along with the gold, Parker and his team also found some old documents, rusted boxes, and torn maps. Initially, he thought these were belonging to old miners, but when he removed the soil and examined them closely, startling secrets began to emerge. The documents contained numerous government markings and seals, clearly indicating that this site had once been part of a secret project. Parker tried to read the documents carefully. Some of the papers contained code words and secret notes. They also stated that this shaft contained not only gold, but also rare minerals and metals that had never been released to the public. The maps detailed numerous secret tunnels and sealed chambers, proving that this was no ordinary mining area. These papers also recorded that miners working here had suddenly disappeared several years ago. Initially, this was considered an accident, but the documents revealed that this was no ordinary incident. In reality, these miners had discovered something that the government wanted to hide at all costs. This was why their disappearance was never properly investigated. For Parker and his team, learning all this was nothing short of a shock. They now understood why the government was suddenly so interested in this place. This wasn't just a treasure hunt, but a game of burying a secret that had been hidden for decades. Parker took a deep breath, holding the documents in his hand, and said softly, "This treasure isn't just gold. It's the greatest truth in history, and perhaps the most dangerous." The rest of the team looked at each other. Their joy had now turned to worry. They understood that with this discovery, their lives would never be the same. This wasn't just a treasure of gold, but a web of secrets from which it would be difficult to escape. Tensions within the team. After the discovery of a vast treasure of gold and ancient documents, tensions began to rise within Parker's team. Initially, everyone was overjoyed, but as they realized the gravity of the discovery, differences within the team began to emerge. Some members wanted the discovery to be made public so that everyone could know the truth. They argued that it would be wrong to hide such a vast treasure and secret. If this information became public, the government would be held accountable, and the team would be hailed as heroes. But some members were completely against this. They believed that if word got out, the government would come after them, and they would never find the treasure. They feared that the same fate might befall them as it had befallen the ancient miners who had suddenly disappeared. One member angrily declared, "We have a life-changing opportunity. If we mishandle it, we will all be ruined." The debate escalated in front of Parker. Both factions of the team began shouting at each other. On one side were those who wanted to expose the treasure and the truth to the world, and on the other, those who wanted to keep it secret. Parker stood in the middle, tension evident on his face. He couldn't understand who was right. If he made it public, the whole world would consider him a hero. But that also meant the government would take everything from him and possibly even endanger his life. This tension put immense pressure on Parker. He knew that one mistake could endanger the lives of his team. The team members constantly surrounded him, asking questions. "Parker, you have to make a decision. Which direction should we all go?" Parker listened quietly, but a storm raged within his mind. Parker's big decision. At night, Parker sat alone, thinking. Piles of gold, the team's hopes, and the secrets of old documents floated before his eyes. He knew this wasn't just about treasure. It was a game of power and politics. If he made the wrong move, all of this could lead to their deaths. Parker took a deep breath and calmed himself. Then he made a decision that would change the fate of him and his team forever. The next morning, Parker gathered the team. The atmosphere was eerily quiet, everyone staring at him. Parker said firmly, "I've made my decision. This treasure and this truth will not be revealed to anyone for now. It will all stay here, and we will all keep it secret." His words brought silence to the team. Those who wanted to make it public were angry, while others breathed a sigh of relief. Parker continued, "If this gets out, the government will pounce on us. We might disappear, like the old miners did. It's not just gold. This treasure is more valuable than our lives." Hearing his words, many members of the team were frightened and nodded in agreement. Gradually, the team realized that the government was already monitoring their activities. Hidden cameras and drones installed nearby confirmed that the government was watching their every move. Parker also hinted that he had met secretly with some government officials. He didn't share many details with the team, but his words clearly indicated a deal had been reached. This decision deepened the suspense. The question now was, what deal had Parker made with the government? Was he doing this solely to protect his team? Or was there a deeper reason behind this decision? The team fell silent, but the fear and anxiety in their hearts only grew. Parker looked at everyone one last time and said, "What we saw, what we found, is ours alone. But if anyone leaks this information, we'll all be doomed." Hearing his warning, everyone bowed their heads silently. The treasure was now theirs, but with it came a secret that would change their lives forever. Grand recap. This section of the video features a fast-paced and powerful visual montage. Suspenseful and deep music plays in the background, creating a thrilling and mysterious atmosphere. Rapid cuts depict Parker's team's entire journey. The dangerous and icy terrain of the Yukon, the old, rusted map, Parker's face filled with fear and hope, and the team's search operation in the dark at night. Then, the scene when the heavy shaft door first opens, releasing cold, damp air. Fast-forward moments are shown as the team descends deeper. Strange sounds are heard, and strange symbols appear on the walls. Scenes of sudden machine shutdowns and accidents raise the viewer's heartstrings. Then, the moment when Parker and his team first see the shining gold, and the entire team erupts in joy. Meanwhile, a brief glimpse of government drones and hidden cameras is shown, further heightening the suspense. Finally, the mix of worry and anger. In Parker's eyes, the conflicts among the team and his crucial decision to keep the gold a secret are all shown in rapid succession. This montage presents a juxtaposition of gold, government, and secrets, making the audience understand that this isn't just a story about treasure, but a dangerous game brewing beneath the surface. The big question for the audience. Now it's time to connect directly with the audience. Parker's decision changed the team's lives forever. But did he really make the right decision? This question now concerns not just the team, but everyone watching this story. The camera slowly zooms in on Parker's serious face. A light, suspenseful tune plays in the background, and a voiceover begins. Friends, Parker decided to hide this treasure from the world. He made his team promise that no one would reveal the truth. But was that right? Do you think Parker should have revealed this treasure and this secret? Or did he take the right step to protect his team and himself? Viewers are also forced to consider the government's role. With government agencies monitoring the site from the very beginning, installing drones and hidden cameras, and constantly questioning Parker, it's clear they're hiding something profound. But the question is, what is that something? Is the government telling us the truth? Or is there a secret even greater than this treasure that they want to hide at all costs? The video shows the faces of Parker and his team, some fearful, some angry, and some confused. This creates a deep sense of suspense in the audience's mind. At the end, a voiceover urges viewers, "Please tell us your opinion in the comments. Did Parker do the right thing? Or did his silence deepen a dangerous truth?" Simultaneously, a large text appears on the screen. What do you think? Is it right to hide the truth or to reveal it? With this open-ended question, the tension and suspense of the video reaches its peak. Viewers feel they have witnessed not just a story about a treasure, but a part of history and the power play. This moment compels them to express their opinions and remain eager for the next episode. Parker's tired and serious face is captured on camera in the middle of the dark shaft. The fatigue beneath his eyes is evident, as if he hasn't slept in days. The camera slowly pans down, revealing a vast expanse of glittering gold. The glow of the gold clearly reflects the team's hard work and danger. A slow, suspenseful tune plays in the background, adding to the mysterious atmosphere. Parker takes a deep breath, looks at the camera, and says in a soft yet firm voice, "The treasure has been found, but its true value has yet to be revealed." This line touches the audience's hearts, signaling that the story is far from over. The voiceover then urges viewers, if you enjoyed this exciting journey, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to be the first to know about our next big discovery.